Hey guys, welcome back to the bonus round on GT. I'm Jeff Keighley. This week it is all about Destiny, and I'm here with Anthony, Shane, and Marcus to talk about Bungie's next decade. Obviously, the creators of Halo have released this game. We've all been checking out, playing it probably at various different levels with Destiny. Obviously, a lot of hype. They had the alpha in the summer, then the beta, then the final release. Let's just start with kind of impressions. Marcus, what's your take on, did Destiny deliver what you hoped it was going to be?
Well, I think it was different for me than everybody else because I'm one of those guys who didn't really enjoy Halo.
Right.
So when this was all...
None of the Halos.
They didn't really float my boat. I mean, I was a PC shooter guy at the time. So, you know, I actually avoided a lot of the media around it. You know, I went into self-imposed blackout. So I played the alpha. And I really enjoyed it. You know, it had this Borderlands-esque kind of feel to it, which was really cool. And then I played the beta, which was replaying the alpha missions, which was still kind of cool.
With a little more story in there and stuff.
Yeah, a little more. I mean, you know, I didn't have a problem with the Peter Dinklage voiceover, unlike some people. I thought that was a bit nitpicky. And then I bought the game, and I replayed the missions that I played in the alpha and the beta. And once I got beyond those, and I actually began to enjoy it. I mean, I've not been doing it at the sprint a lot of people have been. I mean, I can see if you're trying to get a review out, you have to get through all 20 levels in 5 minutes. You can write a 3-hour review. Me, I've been sort of like, you know, playing an hour a day. Just scooting around, you know, messing with my...
Are you playing with friends or by yourself?
I actually have some friends, and I have played with them.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know.
Good for you.
You're going to need them.
It's so hard, though, to play with friends. It's like either they're like some other level you're not, or like they're not on, or it's like I try to play late at night and like everyone else is asleep.
I mean, that's just any online game, though, you know?
Well, but in fact, with this, I mean, even
no,
when you get towards, you know, you need to have friends.
Yeah,
right?
but see, the difference with this is there's no matchmaking.
Right.
So you have to play with your friends, especially when you get like later on to the raids. Like you can't just team up with people.
No, you have
who
to
are
set a
around
schedule.
You
like
have
we're all
to
going to meet at 7 o'clock and like all play through this.
So
I think they
sort of people have been doing for years in MMOs. To be fair, I mean, you know, that has been.
But so overall, Marcus, your impression of it, was it better than you expected?
Considering I had zero expectations going in, I have actually enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm not, like I said, I haven't hit 20. I haven't the level cap. I'm tootling along. I've gone back to Cosmodrome to do some bounty missions. But I like the fact that I can drop in and play with some friends. But I also like the fact that I don't have to deal with 10 other assholes on a fire team. And this has always been the interesting aspect of Destiny for me, the 3-man fire teams. And I really do like that because Call of Duty leaves me cold, Battlefield leaves me cold because everybody's either way too serious or they're the opposite extreme of dicking around. Is the story secondary? Yes. Are the missions repetitive? Yes. Is it still a fun shooter to hop in with a couple of friends and just go some blow shit up and then maybe get a purple engram that turns into a blue piece of loot? Yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping that they need to move it. You know, they can move it forward over the next 6 months. That's going to be crucial for me. I mean, I tweeted.
Well, they have the expansion coming in December. I mean, it feels like there's going to be more content.
It's weird that that's an expansion.
It's just
though.
garbage.
It's weird that that's an expansion.
Garbage.
Though.
What do you mean it's garbage?
Yeah, it is.
It's like that should have been on the disc. Like,
yeah, I think you know right now. The way Destiny feels to me is like this really beautiful playground that they forgot to put a swing set in. Like you go and it just looks fun and it feels kind of fun, but a lot of the fun is still missing.
Well, one thing I wonder about this game is, you know, the model in which they brought it out. And I was talking to Michael Pachter about this last week. It's like, you know, at one point it sounded like there might have been a subscription fee to it. It was going to be, you know, more of kind of a traditional MMO where some stuff's there on day one, but then over time they build it out. And it feels like at some point they made the decision to make it, you know, a Call of Duty style launch, right? Which is big budget, blockbuster, day one, go spend $60 and you get some content and there's a bunch of DLC afterwards. And I wonder if sort of the beta we had, if that had almost been an open beta that, you know, for 6 or 12 months people could sort of play around with, they'd add content in and then finally release it in a bigger way, if that would have worked. Because as you said, I think a lot of people are saying, hey, there's some good stuff here, but it's not all there. Not what I expected. And even
everything's behind glass.
Yeah.
I mean, the big cities that you can look at in the distance, you can't really get in there. The fact that every time you unlock a bit of codex, a bit of a grimoire, you have to go to the Bungie website or go to the app to pull it up. And it feels like it's lacking a little bit of Mass Effect magic. If it had that level of Mass Effect interactivity, exploration, I mean,
it's a world. Like I think people wanted you know, they wanted Star Wars. They wanted the big villain that they would care about. They want, you know, sort of what Bungie has done from a story perspective.
Yeah. Well, it's listen to Bungie magic. I mean, it's like
you've been quiet so far, Shane. So yes.
But remember, like Halo, like that series, it had kind of an aesthetic to it. Like there were tongue-in-cheek parts to it. There were lots of times when I played Halo that I chuckled, like the way the enemies would talk and the things they would say to you. It, like I don't feel like I would never pick up this game other than the gunplay and play it and say, "Oh, this is the Bungie game."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think those Kirk Hamilton wrote a great review over at Kotaku where he was just like, the parts that are brilliant are so unbelievably brilliant right now. When you can get 3 friends online and start playing through a story mission, when you first get to Venus and you finally see like the environment on Venus and how much you can ride around and climb around in it, like there are some really just brilliant moments of discovery in the middle of this really grindy sort of empty right now game. But the capes are lovely. Y'all know I love my cape.
Capes, dancing.
The capes are so good.
I think that's a good point, and then I think, you know, this game, when they sold obviously a universe, right? And I think a lot of people question like, well, how many planets are going to be there? How many missions? And you remember in the summer there was some controversy about how much was going to be there, and Bungie's like, this is the biggest game we've ever built, et cetera, et cetera. But in some ways, when you know, some people want space combat. I mean, they want everything in this world, and it's like, yeah, what's there versus the expectation? In some ways, I think people wanted, you know, a more fully realized world right out of the gate.
I think they need to expand. I mean, if they expanded Earth for a start, I mean, the fact that Russia, a certain section of Russia, is the only place you can travel back and forth to. Yeah. Just even, you know, when you hop up to the like the hub, and it's just so small, and it doesn't feel like a living, breathing environment. It feels like you're just popping in. Oh, look, I'm just going to drop these off. Whereas you compare that to, say, you know, World of Warcraft or any other. And well,
you can see the unfinished systems so clearly in the hub world. The fact that every time I go to pick up a message, it's just a message that tells me to go to the bounty master who's 10 feet away. Because I can't message things to people. I can't trade loot with people. I can't send them a helmet yet.
And they need to get that shit in.
Yeah, and you can tell it's not like a review of what isn't in the game, or this is a review of what you think the game should be. These are things that there are clearly spaces that they've left open for.
That's what I mean. It's like it's sort of unfinished in where certain elements are. So I guess the question
story's obviously unfinished. I mean, at least I hope to God it's unfinished. Because
can somebody explain the story to me? Apparently, Bill Nye is trying to protect a big lump of cheese in the sky.
Yeah.
And Tyrion Lannister is in a little metal box next to you.
Sure.
And he wants to go to the moon to play with the wizard's cheese.
You get capes.
Here's
cheese has a cape on
it. Here's why I think Destiny is so divisive, is because I think people do think about Bungie, and they think about epic campaign, and they think shooter.
Yeah.
And this game, to me, doesn't appeal to people who love shooters. It appeals to people who like RPGs and MMOs. Yep. And particularly once you get that soft level cap at 20.
Yep.
For people who like typical shooters, there's not a whole lot left after that. Right. Because the missions repeat, the content repeats. The Crucible, the competitive multiplayer, is just a shadow of what you would expect from Bungie.
Right.
I mean, if they're counting on the Crucible maintaining their shooter crowd that they've built over the years with the Halo franchise, it's not going to happen. They're going to move on to Call of Duty in a month or whatever, because there's no customization. There's basically 2 different gameplay types. There's
matchmaking's pretty much broken.
Yeah, it's like they built their name on competitive multiplayer, and so there's a lot of expectations with Bungie's games. It's like, where's the epic story? It's not there. Where's kind of the tongue-in-cheek humor? It's not there. Where's the multiplayer that I can play for the next 3 years if I want to and still be engaged by it? It's not there. And so what I found is people who really enjoy Destiny post-game are people who have traditionally enjoyed MMOs and RPGs. And I think, Marcus, you fall into that category.
I mean, look, I'm enjoying Destiny. I will probably continue to go back in and, you know, do the little grindy things, or, you know, look for the the little golden boxes that I've missed, on each one, because that's my mindset. That's what I appreciate. Yeah. But what it has done is it's pulled me back into enjoying shooters more after being continually alienated by Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is coming from a more shooter standpoint, you're like, well, I feel like this is something that's built more for people who like MMOs. But if you're coming from an MMO standpoint, a lot of that functionality that's expected of an MMO isn't there either.
Sure.
You know, the things like the easy ways to party up, the things like the easy ways to trade loot, to drop things, like all the all little shopkeepers that are supposed to do different things for you. So I think they're building something that's an amalgam of both. And so they've started with just the basic framework of what it takes to make both. And they're counting on us sticking around for the next 6 months.
And that's like the big question is like, will people stick around? Is there enough there that despite the initial disappointment, will people come back for the expansions? Will they continue to
Well, I think the expectation has been set by big MMO games like World of Warcraft. Like, you know, they put one out every few years, but you know when they put it out, it's going to be huge. There's going to be big changes to the world. Sometimes they overhaul the graphics engine. What are we going to get that with Destiny?
We're not going to get that with Destiny.
The money they're asking for it feels like you should be getting.
But there's no $15 a month charge to, you know, pay for a graphics overhaul.
That's why I wonder, like these expansions. Like they didn't include the content on the disc, but it's like, then is it better to give them an expansion versus saying you're going to pay a monthly fee where you're going to get stuff every certain months? And even World of Warcraft, you pay for the expansions and you pay for the monthly.
I think we're going to see that first expansion, that $34.99 expansion that everybody pre-ordered, and then I think we'll be able to gauge how people are feeling about Destiny as a whole by how quickly and how much money they want for that second expansion. Because that first expansion is $34.99.
It's a lot of money.
They're asking a lot of in for effectively $100 for Destiny this year if you get both things. Are people going to come back in December?
I keep telling everybody who's asking me if they should be playing Destiny to wait for like Game of the Year edition, wait for like the prepackaged all of the first expansions, because right now
I got the Ghost one, which give me the season pass thingy with it, and the cool little Ghost.
You get a little dinklage.
Really, it's really good. I think it's not going to be judged on what's on the expansion pack. It's going to be judged on what they put out for free to keep the community going, because that's the trick. I mean, Blizzard, they do the expansion pack every 2 years, but even though they're getting the $15 every month, they also put out enough tweaks and balances and bonus loots and loot weekends or whatever to keep people coming back for more. If you look at you look at a lot of the other MMOs that have that, don't even have the the multiplayer. They don't even charge $15 a month. I mean, they're out there and they have microtransactions or whatever. They also give away enough free stuff, and the community is going to need that. The community deserves that, because we've been. I do agree that this feels like I'm playing an extension of the beta.
And I think Bungie's always been very good with community. I think they've always been good at interacting with their community.
Well, I think they invented the community manager, didn't they?
And I think, exactly. And so I think, like, for them, they're definitely watching, and the fact that they doubled the rate of like public events and instances and things like that are coming in, they're clearly watching.
They'll react
and I think they'll be very good about it, and I don't think we need to worry about people running away so much in the first year. But I think if you're somebody who's not playing Destiny right now, it's like, hold up and just see how much they're adding.
Well, it also be interesting to see how much.
Well, you'll pay $35 to see what they're adding.
But
really, if you add that money, though, it's like you're already paying a monthly fee. That's coming out like a month after the main game comes out. Now you want another $35 from me? It's like maybe people would prefer to pay $10 a month instead of having to pay that for expansions.
I think that's a wall. I think that's a mental wall for a lot of people, especially on a console. That $10 subscription fee.
That's for sure.
And that's a lot of money, and it's like to get that in December, as you said, and there'll be a lot of people that will be jumping into the game for the first time later this year. So I wonder how much they're going to change the core game, and things like the story. Is that just sort of going to be the way the first version of Destiny was, and then they start improving on
getting somebody who bought Destiny to play what they thought was a stereotypical Bungie game? Getting that person to pay another $35 and just I don't think it's going to happen. Because they were left hanging with the story. They were left hanging with the competitive multiplayer.
How much drop-off do you think we'll see?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Bungie has a big fan base, and those are the people who lined up on day one to get it. Those are
there's a lot of stuff coming out in November and December too. So it's just I think maybe some people will wait and see. Like, if it's really great, then maybe they will come back, right? But I think they'll look for that endorsement for everyone that does buy it, saying, "Hey, no, the awesome story." Like,
if they don't continue the story, they're in deep crap.
Well, I mean, let's face it. What they're trying to do is something that people have tried. Sony have tried in the past with PlanetSide 1 and 2, and it just didn't come off either time, even though they were grand experiments, because the difficulty levels were too steep. I applaud them for trying to do this grand experiment, because they are bringing shooters to a non-traditional shooter crowd, and they are evolving multiplayer gameplay into something beyond what we expect out of Call of Duty and Battlefield. And if they can put that story in, and if they can put that level of non-player characters and just make it feel, I mean, hell, just start with Earth. Make Earth feel like a world. Give us more places to explore. Let us go into some of those gorgeously rendered cities. Because, 3-man team walking through a vast cityscape, and you're the only ones in that particular instance, that's going to be fantastic for people. And that's what's lacking now.
No, look, I enjoyed Destiny. Don't get me wrong. But
I think everyone
when I got to level 20, I went back and I played it for a few more hours, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care about finding armor that has a light attached. Like, I just... I'm a big competitive multiplayer player. It really had nothing for me after that.
Everyone likes the shell of what's there. And the question is now, it's like, where's it going to go? How are they going to monetize that? And yeah, with a 10-year bet, it's like, what does Destiny 2 look like? Or is it just expansions? I mean, we're just going to see over time how this universe ramps. All right, well, we'll be back next week with more right here in the bonus round. Thanks for watching.